Well, as you know, at this point, we've already talked about the Model Y deliveries being substantially strong, and those lead times to get a new Model Y were continuing to be pushed out. It was just like a week or two ago that we said the Model Y was now showing November as the expected delivery timeline if you were to order a Model Y long-range all-wheel drive. Well, it turns out that's now December as of right now. So this just happened a couple hours ago on Tesla's website. If you go on the website and select the long-range all-wheel drive configuration of the Model Y, your new expected lead time is now December. So what does this all mean? Well, it's turning out to be the last call. So if you want to get your hands on a long-range Tesla Model Y, you need to place your order right now if you want to get it in 2021. It's unclear at this point how long it's going to be before you're going to have to wait till 2022 to get your hands on a Model Y should you wait to order. However, if we look at how this has gone so far this year, I would say you only have a couple weeks to put your order in. Now, I could be completely wrong. They could have a bunch of additional capacity that we don't know about that's not reflected in that lead time yet. But at this point in time, if you want to get your Model Y this year, you got to put your order in now. So basically, it's a 4-month lead time to get your hands on a Model Y.
I want to thank the sponsor of this video, Phantom Wallet. Phantom Wallet offers premium wallet designs with an aluminum chassis with options of wood, leather, and carbon fiber finishes. Grab the card you need with a quick flip of the lever. RFID and NFC protection are built in, ensuring a safe and secure alternative to traditional options. Make sure to use code BTG to save 10% on your order.
Now, there is a chance to get your hands on a Model Y much sooner, and that's if you upgrade for $7,000 and get the performance model. Now, the performance model has been as much as $10,000 more than the long-range all-wheel drive. Right now, it's sitting at $7,000. The lead time as it sits where I'm located is 7 to 9 weeks. So that 7 to 9 weeks is actually a little bit longer than it was just a couple weeks ago as well. So even the performance model is starting to fill that backlog. And while we're talking about this, of course, let's take a look at the Model 3 because there are some changes there as well as demand continues to be substantially strong. The Standard Range Plus Model 3 is 8 to 14 weeks right now, so it is just behind the Model Y. The long-range all-wheel drive Model 3 is saying November, and that did just update recently to that November timeframe. So that's not much farther behind the Model Y long-range all-wheel drive. And finally, the shortest lead time that you can get is in the Performance Model 3, which is a fantastic car, by the way. That lead time is 6 to 9 weeks. Now, of course, since the launch of the refresh Model S, there have been some updates there as well. It appears that demand is much stronger than anticipated for the Model S, both the long range and the Plaid. Right now, if you were to order a Model S long range, you would be looking at a February to March lead time. Switching over to the Plaid, it looks like you can still get that in about a month or two. So September to October is that current lead time. Over on the Model X, which has yet to start deliveries, we're looking at February to March for the long range version and February to March for the Plaid version. Now, we have not seen a ton of refresh Model X's out there, and because the similarities between the S and the X are very close, I do think that there's a chance Tesla could beat the time frame to get that Model X out there, but there's no guarantees because there's so much going on at Tesla. Specifically looking over at Giga Austin, that's where all the action is happening. We are imminently awaiting the Cybertruck to start production. In addition, the Model Y made out of Giga Austin should be coming very soon. Although it's not 100% clear on when exactly the Model Y made out of Giga Austin is going to launch or the Cybertruck, we do believe that November is the proposed start date for one of those two models. Now, originally they were talking about launching the Model Y made out of Giga Austin first, and then a month later, the Cybertruck. So if that still holds true, we're looking at November and then December for the Model Y and the Cybertruck respectively. Now, of course, we don't know the full capacity at Giga Austin, but once it's up and running, don't anticipate Giga Austin to be at any level close to their full capacity when they first start. It's going to be sometime into 2022 before Giga Austin is pumping out cars in mass volume. And that's going to be the case for both the Model Y and the Cybertruck. Now, when the Model Y launches at Giga Austin, here's all we know right now. It's going to have the 4680 cells, which is great. That also means it's going to have the full casted front as well. The battery cells are going to be integrated into that casted body, and it's going to be a whole new frame at least design. Now, of course, we still don't know how Tesla is going to utilize those new batteries, whether they're going to keep the battery about the same size or if they're going to reduce the size of the battery and keep the range close to what it is today. Could Tesla be launching an all-new Model Y, like a long-range plus version? We don't know yet, and Tesla has been extremely quiet on this topic and hasn't really spilled many details about what to expect. So we're still waiting to find out more, although it is now August, so that's going to be here before you know it. Here in just a few more months, we'll be knowing so much more about the Model Y. In addition to the Cybertruck, again, not going to be at any type of huge volume when they first start up. However, there's been so much activity at Giga Austin, and just recently this week we saw 2 or 3 new Cybertruck bodies did show up at Giga Austin. Sounds like they're doing some validation on the production lines, which is great news. They continue to make progress while the building is being built. And this is good because this means they can streamline some of their processes. So of course, they're using the Fremont factory to help pilot a lot of the production and then pick it up and move it over to Giga Austin. This is another way that they're helping to reduce the lead time it's going to be before they can start getting into any kind of production volume. Now, once the Cybertruck does launch, we do know there's over 1 million reservations for this truck. And Elon Musk in the past has said we're talking 5+ years, and that was when we were closer to 500,000 Cybertrucks. So it would be reasonable to assume the at least initial target for production capacity of the Cybertruck was probably somewhere around 100,000 units a year. Now, of course, that could have been increased between then and now, and hopefully that is the case because there's going to be a long wait to get your hands on a Cybertruck. Now, they will be starting, of course, with the long range and the performance model first, and sometime later they'll release the rear-wheel drive version. The rear-wheel drive version is that $39,990, and if I were you, based on all the price increases we've seen this year, there's 8 or 9 of them at this point, you should probably go ahead and lock in your order for either the Model Y or the Cybertruck. Cybertruck has not changed prices, which is great, which means you can still get the original price on a Cybertruck before they go into production. Now, based on everything that we're seeing, the Model Y, you shouldn't expect to take delivery until sometime in December. That means you need to put in your order now if you want the car this year. I know a lot of people were sitting by waiting to try to time this out better for the EV tax credits, but even more so, try to time it out with Giga Austin. Well, it's very likely that timing out Giga Austin has already come and gone, which means by the time you would take delivery, there's a really good chance that Giga Austin would already be spitting out production. I really think that this is where it's going to be interesting to see, does Tesla shut down their production line over in Fremont for the Model Y? I think that's highly unlikely, given the fact that that's where all the volume is right now. That's a big volume to shut off immediately. So how do you separate the cars made in Fremont versus the cars made in Giga Austin? Because there's 2 different methods and they'll have 2 different batteries. So we're either going to have, like I said, that new model of the Model Y being like a long range plus, or we're going to have some sort of a balancing act where we're making casted bodies over in Giga Austin, shipping some of that capacity over to Fremont and upgrading the lines over there. That's a likely possibility as well. So if you were waiting for the 4680 cells, I think that there's a really good chance if you put your order in now, that's the car you're likely going to get unless they add a new trim model of the Model Y. Now, we haven't heard anything about it, and again, Tesla continues to be quiet on this topic, so there's no guarantees and we don't really know what exactly to expect as this transition happens. So with that, I think that there's probably a good chance for some more price increases down the line as Tesla continues to completely sell out their production. They are so close to being completely full for the entire rest of the year, which is absurd. That is a ton of volume and a ton of cars on back order. So I'd love to hear from you. Have you been waiting all this time, and do you feel like now's the time to put in your order? Have you already put in your order and you've been waiting a tremendous amount of time, which I know a bunch of you have because you've reached out and let me know that. I do hope that Tesla does find a way to increase throughput and get more cars out delivered than they have planned right now. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, of course, give it the thumbs up. If you haven't already, of course, subscribe to the channel as we continue to post content regularly. You can follow us on Twitter and Instagram @BeardedTesla. Thanks so much for joining us, and we'll catch you next time.